My name is Tim Wheelwright. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Durham, Jones and Pinniger, and my law practice focuses exclusively on the immigration law. I chose to become an attorney after spending a lot of time with some great mentors during my undergraduate years. You know, I've been doing this for 19 years, and believe it or not, I've seen, I think, 3 major changes in the immigration laws. One very early in my career, which was almost a complete overhaul to the immigration system, largely on the enforcement side. It really changed the way the government deals with people who have fallen out of status or people who have come into the U.S. illegally. But I've seen many other changes. In 2012 was another significant change, and it wasn't a change that was made necessarily in the law in what we typically consider a change in the law, which would be where Congress passes a law and the president signs it or passes a bill and then the president signs it into law. This was actually an executive action that was taken by President Obama that was designed to help individuals who entered the U.S. before they turned 16 years old and who had lived here for at least 5 years. And that program had a significant impact in the lives of many people, including many that live in Utah. And that was a very rewarding change that I'll look back on my career and will be grateful that I was practicing law during that period of time. You know, I think sometimes this phrase gets overused, but as somebody who deals with immigration law and the immigration system every day, I'm on the front line, so to speak. I see up close and personal how our immigration system works. And honestly, the whole system is broken. Now, there's parts that are working fine, but we're living with an immigration system right now that, at least on the benefits side, so determining when people, under what conditions people will get visas or green cards, that system largely has not been changed since the early 1990s. And when you consider how much the world has changed, how much our economy has changed, how much our country and the world has changed in that 27 or 26 years, it's very concerning that we are working with an immigration system that, quite frankly, is just outdated. It's not serving our current needs. So, the changes that I see that are probably most critical right now is we really need to pay some attention to the legal immigration system right now. And I'll just give you a couple of examples. Right now, for those that are from India and also from China who have received, oftentimes they receive their master's or their PhD degrees from U.S. universities, we are telling them, well, you need to wait anywhere from 5 to 10, and it could be even longer, years for them to get their green card. And this is very troubling when these are some of the brightest students that we have coming out of our universities right now, and that are very important to U.S. companies that are looking to, as far as research and development, and to develop technology, and they're just very important resources in those operations. And we're telling these people, well, you need to wait to get a green card, but for a long, long period of time. We also see, and look, the major problem that we have right now in this country, and what we just can't seem to get any consensus on, is the undocumented population that's living here. And it's probably somewhere between 10 and 15 million people. And we are just having a difficult time getting the political will to address that issue. We're hung up on the terminology. We're hung up on words like amnesty and pathway to citizenship or pathway to permanent residency. and we are very distracted and unable to really deal with those issues. And quite frankly, those issues have to be dealt with. There's just no way around it. I love my job because at the end of the day, we see so much good that's happening in the lives of people because of the work that my team, and I have a team of paralegals and assistants that help me with this process. There's so much good that we're able to see happening in the lives of people. And it's one thing to get paid for your services, and obviously it's a business, and we have to make money, but that's not the most rewarding part of what I do. The rewarding part is seeing how this impacts the lives of clients, and not just the clients, but their family members. And you start thinking about, people who come to the United States, whether they came here illegally or whether they came here legally, they're going to experience a major change in their life that's going to affect generations. And to be part of that and to help facilitate that often is very rewarding. I see some very compelling cases and get to meet people from all over the world, and it really is. It's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding, and I'm grateful that I've had this opportunity and to help so many people. Yeah, and I'm always quick to be careful, about taking any credit for changing somebody's life. All I can do is help them take advantage of opportunities that are available that hopefully will provide an opportunity for them to change. But there is one case I mentioned that there was this major change in the law with this executive action in 2012 with this program called Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. Had a very interesting experience a short time before that program was announced, where I gave a talk at a local high school in the Salt Lake area, actually, and a young woman from Columbia who was at the very top of her class. I believe she was the valedictorian of her graduating class. And I'd gone to this school to give a presentation on immigration law, and there not only were students invited, but also their parents. And met this. I noticed this gal during my presentation just sobbing. I couldn't figure out what in the world's. I hope it's nothing I said, but had an opportunity to talk with her after and her family and learn a bit more about her story. The family had come in legally when she was very young, came with her brother. They, for whatever reason, the family decided to stay in the United States and fell out of status. Of course, that wasn't her decision. That was a decision that her parents had made. But fell out of status, and she basically had no hope that they would be able to legalize their status, that she would be able to get employment authorization, that she would be able to do anything. But yet, she had done so well in school. Obviously, she was the valedictorian of her class and had amazing opportunities to go on for higher education, but was saying to herself, but what good is it going to do? I'm not going to be able to work. I don't have employment authorization. I can't live here legally. What am I going to do? And she was just without hope. So the day that DACA was introduced, I will never forget where I was, what I was doing, and she was the first person that I thought of on that day. Interestingly, she's not my client. She and her family decided to do everything on their own, but I was the one that called her and told her, hey, there is hope. There is an opportunity for you. And to see the change that came into this woman's life because of this program, again, it's worth more than money. And she's now a student at the University of Utah and pursuing, I think, an education in finance. and has just major goals and dreams that lie ahead of her, which are now possible because of this program. Something people need to realize about immigration law is it's complicated. And when you consider that your life or your family's life really depends on the outcome. And what I mean by that, it's not like you're going to lose your life, but if you want to continue to stay in the United States, live in the United States, and have your family live here, you need to be careful about how you go about applying for immigration benefits. There's a lot of people out there that are taking advantage of immigrants and are charging them unreasonable fees, are taking money from them, and all too often are just not giving them good legal advice. So important to seek out competent legal representation to help you with your case. It will pay off to seek that early and can make the difference.